Hello, this will be an individual reading. What is the message for you today? It's almost like a joke, but it's not. Seven of Wands coming out in the Tower. For one more. Here's the message for today. Here's the message. Seven of Wands in the Tower. The Ace of Swords. Okay. What I'm getting today is you felt like you were backed into a corner. You felt like you were, basically backed up to the edge of a cliff. You had nowhere else to turn. You couldn't figure out an answer to your problem. You've been fighting, working, ruminating, having sleepless nights, really working hard to try and figure out this stuck energy that you were felt with. However, with the Seven of Wands, you are gaining traction, you're figuring it out, you are jumping, away from your issues, whatever is following you, whatever is chasing you, whatever problem is nagging or has been nagging with you, you're starting to come around and figure out a new way of doing things, or maybe it is just a new lifestyle. Maybe there's some sort of lifestyle that you've been, kind of standing in for a while, and you're just not getting the result that you've been wishing for. Sometimes people don't change unless they have to. A lot of the times people don't change unless they're forced to. And from what I'm feeling here is you've been fighting and wishing and wanting and resisting and, really kind of just giving it your all. It's kind of like swinging to try and hit a baseball, and you keep swinging the bat and swinging the bat, and you're not looking at the prize, right? Like every time a pitch comes down the plate, you just swing with your eyes closed, just frantically, you're swinging. That's what I'm kind of getting. Like you've just been swinging in the dark kind of deal and not really keeping focus on what you need to do. And that sometimes brings tower moments. This is why the Tower is here. Sometimes things have to crumble around you in order to help you proceed forward in the right direction. In this case, I'm sensing that life forced you to change. There's been some sort of deconstruction of your life. There's been some sort of demolition happening, a new start, an abrupt new start, a demolishing of old times, old lifestyles, old deeds, old habits. Everything that you felt that was stagnant is no longer. And now you're standing here with a new start, a new way of looking at things, a new way of going about your business. The Ace of Swords, a brand new start to a new way of life, a new way of thinking about life, a new way of going about life. Everything is starting new. And it's really beautiful, actually. With the Tower and the Ace of Swords together here, it really just shows that if if you run away from your problems will chase after you, right? If you don't handle your problems the correct way, or you ignore them, you wait for another day, it's like mañana kind of deal, the tower is going to come after you. You know, your problems will eventually catch up to you. You can be ignorant for so long. Someone can get away with being ignorant for a very long time, until one day when the tower comes and blows a heavy wind in their face, you know, showing them what they've done in the past, or the things that they've let go of that they should be working on, or, you know, things that they've been purposely ignoring. Ignorance is bliss, but in reality, after a while, reality catches up to you, and it doesn't matter how much you ignore a problem. Sometimes the problem will become louder than your own thoughts. So you need to be able to face your problems head on instead of running away. Because when you keep running away from things, you know, your problem just keeps rolling like a snowball down a hill until you stop it. And from what I'm seeing here is that you've been slowly taking care of things. You kind of let your problems slip away from you, or maybe you had too many issues happening at once. But, you know, there's been some hard times recently with you. The tower, you know, shows a lot of things that come to an end, but it's not a bad ending. You know, it's a very dramatic episode. While you're in it, you probably feel like the world is ending around you. You know, when you're in the midst of such upheaval, of abrupt changes, it's always stressful. It's never exactly exciting and fun and lighthearted. There's only a select few people that, you know, might feel the ride of life in such a playful manner, but for most of us, we get stressed out, we get tired, we get anxious, scared, fearful, angry, whatever it is, whatever these abrupt changes bring out in you, it's necessary. And then once the rubble settles, once the dust settles, the air clears, the fires go away, the floods retract, you know, the gray skies turn blue again, and you're giving a new dawn, a new chance at doing things. And when you embody this newness, you know, and you wake up one day and you see a new light ahead of you, a new morning, you know, this is kind of like morning, you know, dusk, dawn energy, and it's kind of like, it's still dark out and the stars are out, but you feel the sun rising, even if you don't see it yet. You know, you can see the colors slowly turning brighter and brighter, but you don't see the sun as of yet. But you know that the world is turning, that the sun will come out again, that the morning will happen eventually. And that's what I'm seeing here, is that you've jumped out of this tower and survived, barely. And you're here now on the ground with a new set of eyes, a new way of looking at things, and a new way of going about life. And this is a brand new start for you. This is a great new start for you. This is something that you are going to bring into your future. This is something that you're going to really take for granted. Like, you know that you're given this second, third, fourth chance, whatever it is, and you know it, you're aware of it, and you're going to take it, and you're going to run with it, and you're going to do new things with it. Let's elaborate just a tiny bit on the Seven of Wands. Death. Like I was just saying, death to old ways, the Seven of Wands. You had to put an end to something recently, and it looks like you were kind of digging your heels into this ending. It looks like, you know, with the Tower here and the Seven of Wands, you didn't want to change. You know, you were kind of running away. Sometimes running, even though it's exhausting, still, people choose to run away instead of just, stop and deal with what's happening. You were exhausting yourself, running from your problems, running from responsibility, Maybe you just didn't want to deal with it because you know how hard you have to work at dealing or managing this issue, whatever issue that has been nagging at you. It had to come to an end. And there's been a huge ending here. The Death card and the Tower. Crazy. This is scorpionic energy to a T. Transformation, endings, rebirth, right? Death and birth go hand in hand. Again, people look at death and think, scary thoughts. But the Death can be a beautiful card. Especially with the Tower and Death, there's been some huge changes happening in your life lately. And things had to come to an end. I think you were running for too long. I think you were trying to fight against it for a long time. It wasn't working. And you have to keep going forward, and in order to go forward, you needed to put an end to a few things. Death is always hard, whether it's physical death, metaphysical death, spiritual death, emotional death, death to old ways, death to relationships, whatever ending that you just currently had. You definitely had some sort of huge ending, huge change in your life lately. And there's been lots and lots of changes. Again, it's stressful, but it needs to be done. The Band-Aid has been ripped off you, and you've gone through some serious dark times lately. There's been some huge awakening, some huge changes in your lifestyle and in the way that you think. A lot of things are being renewed for you. This is a chance of a new birth. A theoretical new birth for you. A new chance. God, Spirit, is giving you a new chance at life. And in order to, change needs to happen. You can't change your life and not change anything. Things have to adjust, switch, go away, for new energy to come. And with this Death card and the Tower card, there's been a lot of Band-Aids ripped off you, I want to say, lately. And death is not letting you run away from your problems anymore, right? There's been a huge adjustment lately to your lifestyle, but all for the better. This is not a bad it's not a bad combo. The Death and the Tower together, that's a huge partnership of change that has happened around you lately. And even though you might feel like everything's crumbling and getting worse and worse, it's actually crumbling for your benefit. Think of it as like you're a real estate developer that finds a property with an old dilapidated building on it. You could either fight against the dilapidated building and rebuild what's already there, or just demolish the whole thing and build from the ground up, build fresh, build new. And that's what you're doing. You're building new. What's going on with this Tower? What's going on with the Tower card? What has been a Tower in your life lately? What's going on with the Tower? Page of Cups. Interesting. Have you let go of a relationship lately? There's been some sort of relationship that has come crumbling to pieces. Something that you thought was, a good thing wasn't. Let's just say that. It wasn't a good thing. And it crumbled down to pieces. This Page of Cups, whoever it was that was in your life, it could be male or female. I'm just going to say he, just to keep it traditional. This Page of Cups that you were in some sort of relations with wasn't as mature as you needed them to be. They were a flirt. You know, they kind of flirted around the idea of love with you. Maybe they said some things fleetingly, but never really meant it full-heartedly. You know, they used their words lightheartedly. They might have wanted some sort of connection, or they like attention. The Page of Cups likes attention. They like love, but they don't really know what to do with it. And they're not very mature to really kind of go further in a relationship with you. So I feel like there's been some sort of relationship that has been crumbling down, towering down, ending abruptly, or just ending in a messy fashion. It wasn't a very clean break. It was, you know, like a brick fell off of the building one at a time, and then maybe 2 bricks started to fall, and then 3 bricks, and then a whole floor fell, you know, and it just kept rolling and rolling into this big demolition in your relationship. It wasn't really this heart-wrenching breakup, because you never really got a very mature love out of this relationship. This is a relationship that was more surface level. It kind of touched the surface of love. You know, there's a little bit of love here with the cups, but, you know, there's a fish in the cup. You know, he's kind of like foolish, you know, the Page of Cups. He doesn't really know what he's doing, and he took on someone, which was you, that was a little bit more ahead of him, you know, in the love department, in this game of love. And he didn't treat you as such. He didn't treat you as the special source of love that he got. You gave him a lot of love, but he treated you more as entertainment, I want to say, than actual, you know, spiritual connection. You know, it's just very surface level. It's very flirty, and, you know, there's a tiny bit of love there, caring, but nothing more than that, you know. And I think that after a while, you trying to fight this relationship to make it more than, you know, or what you think it could be, right? You can't carry the relationship by yourself. You need someone else to jump with you, you know, into a new scenario. You can't change someone else, and you can't make someone else want to change the relationship or even want to invest in it. So I see that you decided that this was going to have to come to an end, or that you're kind of hitting a dead end with this person, this relationship, because of that. They weren't willing to do the work with you. They weren't willing to step it up, learn some things to connect with you better. They weren't willing to resolve your relationship, and this is what made the whole relationship crumble and fall. You were dealing with an immature counterpart, and I think you realized that, you know, a death that needed to occur in it. You weren't getting what you wanted, or what you needed, or what you wished for, and this person was definitely not on the same page as you. Therefore, it came to an end in a messy way. I'm sorry to hear that, but I hope you're okay. What's up with this Ace of Swords, though? What's up with this new energy, the Ace of Swords, new way of thinking about things? The Ten of Wands. Interesting. You have a new way of looking at work. Yeah. I think, you know, the Ten of Wands is the energy of, like, the do-it-yourselfer. You know, this is like the workaholic card. You know, the person that has all the wands, he's doing it all himself. If you want it done right, you do it yourself, kind of deal. It's that kind of energy. So with the Ace of Swords, I think that you have this new perspective on relationship. I think you have a new perspective on on how you want to proceed in your next sort of love relationship. And it's gonna require a little bit more cooperation, a little bit more collaboration instead of doing it all yourself. Like I said with the Seven of Wands, I think you were kind of like in this energy where you were constantly trying to work on it yourself, constantly always trying to engage in communication with them, constantly trying to drag them along. And working yourself this hard all the time can really give you burnout. And it also just means that you're in a relationship by yourself. If your counterpart isn't giving you, that energy back or that interest back on wanting to change, wanting to make things right with you two, because you both are in agreement that you want to stay together, it's not going to work. As hard as you try to change, as hard as you try to work it out, you can't do it by yourself. When you're in a relationship, you need to be able to work together. And I think you have a new sort of outlook on what you want going forward. You want someone that's on your level. You want someone that's willing to work with you, willing to talk with you, willing to do the work. And you both have the same wants in life. And that's what keeps you in the state of inspiration, in the state of wanting to change for the better always. So when you're tested, things don't come crumbling down. Your relationship doesn't die because both of you are working towards it, not just one person. And I think you've come to realize that that has to be the case. In order to have a successful relationship with someone, you can't be doing all the work. And this is your new outlook. It's kind of like you give and take. And sometimes you might give a little bit more because you want to, and sometimes you might take a little bit more because the other person is giving. That's not the issue. It's more like, if you're just starting to date and you're unsure about this person, just give them the exact amount of energy that they're giving you and see if it keeps growing together. If you grow together, or if you realize maybe one person's doing more work than the other. You have to stay balanced in love, or somewhat balanced, and that requires a lot of awareness of what's really happening instead of what you want to happen. My cat is confirming that. So that's the stuff that you've realized in this past relationship, is that as hard as you work by yourself, it doesn't matter how hard you work yourself, doesn't matter how much you want this relationship to work, if the other person isn't doing the work and he's just kind of flipping around and just being juvenile, not really taking your cup seriously, it's never gonna work. And you're just working yourself to death. You're working yourself into a rut. You're like a rat in a wheel that's just running. It's never gonna work that way. Yeah. So let's just get one more card here. Let's get a few more cards going on here. Trust your sturdy wings and know that the universe is working its magic on your behalf. You have to fly with faith, knowing that what you want in life, what you're searching for in life, is also searching for you. If you're looking for someone that is on your level, you have to have faith, knowing that there's a person out there that is looking for you just the same. There's a lot of people in this world, and there's a lot of people that are looking for the same things you are. And you're not going to be able to find it unless you let yourself go. And right now you have let yourself go, whether you wanted to or not. Life gave you these tower moments, this death to this relationship for a reason, to give you the space to fly with faith, to know, to search for the person that is really going to give you what you need and what you want, and vice versa. So rest your weary wings and replenish your energy for a new flight ahead. You will have a new chance coming forward to you. There will be a new chance at life, at love for you. So right now, while you're in this state of being single, right now while you're in a state of being in between, let's say, don't worry. because you gave yourself the room. You're resting from this huge tower that you just gone through. Yeah. You're still kind of dusty. You have scratches on your knees. You're kind of beat up from your past relationships still. So give yourself time to heal. Rest, because you know that you have faith in knowing that there's going to be times ahead of you where the universe is going to give you what you're searching for. If you stay focused on what you want and what you know that you deserve and what you want and need in a relationship, out of love, out of what you want, what you dream about, yeah? Do you want to be on your deathbed one day feeling like you never really tried to get what you want? Like you kind of just gave up because it's easier to? Or, do you want to be on your deathbed one day and being like, yeah, I went after what I wanted, I went after who I wanted, and sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it does. And at least I have the courage to try, because you only have one chance at this lifetime. You have to have faith knowing that what you want is wanting you. And you will eventually find it if you give yourself the chance and the space to. So right now, rest, take care of yourself, and know that you are being taken care of.